Well, hello everybody. It's story time again with Mrs. Humaniansky. I'm going to read a book to you about the troublesome cub in the Great Smoky Mountains. Have you ever traveled to the Great Smoky Mountains? They're not too far away from Florida, about a half a day's travel. My sister has a cabin up in the mountains. It's one of our favorite places to visit. We like to go hiking, we like to go whitewater rafting and playing in the rivers. But we've also taken some neat drives, and we've actually seen some baby black bear cubs. So let's find out what this cub does to cause some trouble. The Troublesome Cub in the Great Smoky Mountains, Words and Pictures by Lisa Horstman. A hungry black bear parts branches in her way, just after sunrise one fine sunny day. Not too far behind, a little bear cub makes mischief and mayhem and general hubbub. Both bears are hungry as breakfast time beckons. Cub chews one berry and then eats a second. Soon they find acorns upon which to feast, and roots and some insects, good food for a beast. Then sun rises high in the late summer sky. Both bellies are full, now it's time for shut-eye. Or so mother thought, but around her cub prances. A swat of mom's paw puts a halt to his dances. They settle below a small grove of green trees. Soon all that's stirring are leaves in the breeze. Late afternoon shadows take over the sun. The golden air touches each bear one by one. First a stir, then a wiggle. Now bear cub's awake. Wake up, he gives mother a shake. With a sleepy black paw, she warns him away. So Club ambles off to frolic and play. He scrambles along through the flowers and shrubs. A lot to explore for one small bear cub. Bees zip around him, there's honey nearby. They soon fly away to the darkening sky. But Cub forges on, this is way too much fun. He'll travel for miles before he's quite done. Poking his snout to the late summer breeze, an odor floats by him that seems sure to please. The promise of food beckons Cub to a street. The cub has to cross, for it leads to a treat. With the park now behind him and town straight ahead, Cub thinks with his stomach instead of his head. The scent pulls him nearer, the closer than close, until he feels dizzy with smell overdose. A green metal trash bin contains his great prize. Mountain of garbage all coated with flies. Cub takes a nosedive right into the pile and makes greedy bear plans to stay there a while. Cellophane wrapping with food sticking to it, a fast food container, Cub ate right through it. So what if it's plastic? A bear doesn't know that he shouldn't eat fast food containers, although it smells like good eating, looks like a fine meal, and fills up his belly. It sure seems ideal. So he gorges on garbage and falls fast asleep inside the container way down in the heap. Oh no, he fell asleep in the garbage container. A rumbling wakes him just after sunrise, and he's tossed in a truck, much to his surprise. Now this is adventure he doesn't much care for. Every bump in the road makes him grunt and despair more. And the garbage he cherished so much at the start makes him sick to his stomach and heavy of heart. His mother's awake now and wringing her paws. She worries and wonders just what is the cause of her little son's wandering far from his home away from the park, safety to places unknown. Stuck in the darkness, Cub feels the truck stop, then sliding and tumbling and flippity-flop. The garbage folks hear him, and to their surprise, the garbage before them contains two bright eyes. Cub whirls in a panic while trailing decay and makes rotten food fly every which way. He runs through a doorway, leaps onto a beam, holds on for dear life, then lets out a scream. I bet he's scared. He's by himself, and Mama Bear's nowhere around. Trapped on a rafter, Cub sees with a frown. He can't move a muscle and hangs upside down. Below him, the workers all stand in a knot. Below them, the garbage continues to rot. Nobody knows what the next step is now. They know they must help him, but no one knows how. A ranger arrives, and with him a net. Rescuing Bear Cub may still happen yet. He twirls the net all around his big hat. It circles around Bear Cub before he falls flat. There's no time to waste as Bear Cub still dangles. Cub's legs in the rafter must still be untangled. Into the rafters the park ranger crawls to save one small bear from a treacherous fall. He slowly and gently untwists Bear Cub's paw, and it looks like Bear Cub will be saved after all. The park ranger places Bear Cub in a cage to find out his blood type, his weight, and his age. He'll take Bear Cub back to the Park Service lab where he'll check the cub's health with a poke and a jab. Bear Cub's not happy, but no need to fear. They'll send him back home once they checked him out here. People's food sometimes make bears pretty sick. Their teeth can get rotten and sore awfully quick. So that rangers can track him in mountain and holler, they circle his neck with a radio collar. All for the purpose of tracking his tracks to check where he goes when he's snacking his snacks. Luckily, Bear Cub's okay through it all, a little shook up from his scary close call. He'd rather hang out with his mom in the woods. With human, he tends to be misunderstood. Finally, it's time to return to the wild, time to unite the mother and child. The cage door is open, he's freedom at last. Here's freedom at last. Cub leaps into sunshine and wilderness fast. And so Bear Cub learned a hard lesson that day of not eating leftover human buffet. Yes, he learned his lesson. Have we learned one too? Or maybe it's something we already knew. Because it's our job to take care of the earth, since everything on it has some sort of worth. A good way to start is not let the bears get our leftover burgers and chocolate eclairs. And there he is, heading back into the park. A hungry black bear parts branches in her way just before sunset on one fine sunny day. Bear Cub runs toward her, so glad to be home, and into the woods they continue to roam. So, in the back it asks us to make some promises. When I am in bear country, I promise to put all trash and food scraps in bear-proof trash bins and close the lid tight. I promise to store coolers and picnic baskets in the car at night and when not in use. I promise to pick up litter and food scraps. I promise to never feed wild animals. If we leave our food and scraps out, the wild animals don't search for food on their own, and then they get sick and in trouble. So we need to take care of our animals and our earth. I hope you enjoyed the troublesome cub in the Great Smoky Mountains. Have a good day.